Oh,
Hey everyone, welcome to our game of The Elder Scrolls 5, the adventure game, with some lovely, beautiful special guests, Rahdo and Jeremy from Man vs. Meeple. Hi guys, how are you?
And wonderful,
hello.
doing fantastically well. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans here in the U.S. This is the day we celebrate our veterans, and for me, as a veteran, I am celebrating by, I don't know, maybe being a fiction character, and that is Captain America. So I'm gonna put my Captain America helmet on that I made a while back, and yeah,
Excellent.
here we go.
Ready to go.
Wait,
Awesome.
Rahdo, where's your costume? Um,
I I am clearly unprepared for the greatness. But should we refer to you as Cap from now on, Jeremy?
Cap, let's do it.
All right, so we're going to jump straight in and give your at-home viewers a taste of this game and see what these guys get up to in the wilds of Skyrim. So we're going to jump across to the game. Now, this is an adventure game. You've got your character, you're leveling up, you're moving around the wilds of Skyrim, playing out different quests, going into dungeons, finding cool treasure. So and it's a what we call it's an evolving narrative game, which what does that mean? Well, we've got nearly 600 cards that tells all kinds of stories that introduce new monsters, introduce new events and gear and enemies to fight, and the game is going to learn from you as it goes. So every decision Rahdo and Jeremy make is going to change the future of the entire campaign. And there's actually two huge campaigns in the box in the base game, and each of those is 3 chapters. So it's basically 6 big missions that you could play. And as you're going to see, you could play them, you could focus it quickly, maybe play in an hour. But I have a feeling that most Skyrim players never focus on their main quest. Is that right, guys?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What is a
I don't
main
think anyone
quest?
who's, yeah.
What is a main quest?
Let's get started. So the fun is it's a prequel to Skyrim. So
Oh
Okay.
the
wow.
campaign is set 25 years before this dude on a cart gets chased by a dragon out of Helgen. So this is a chance for you to see what happened to that renowned organization, the Blades, and you're going to
Okay.
be surviving members of them. So I'm just going to dive in. We've got a card here called Arrested. Sorry, not Arrested. This is some starting cards. We've got a card here called Tainted Haven. We have one of these for each of the chapters, and this just introduces the story. So I'll give you a quick English accent intro.
Oh, fire away.
So it's year 175 of the Fourth Era. The Great War rages across Tamriel. A group of young blades recruits go on their first mission, a patrol around the forests of Cyrodiil. A Thalmor ambush catches them off guard, and they barely escape alive. Upon returning to their camp, they find it desolated. The Thalmor have been here. Cyrodiil is not safe for them anymore. They escape to Skyrim, far from the Thalmor's clutches. And in Skyrim, the Reachmen have conquered Markarth, and tensions between them and the Nords are rising. So there we go. You're on the run, or
I
you've been
like
on
it.
the run.
Here we go. There are no
So
special rules.
yeah, so there's no special rules for this chapter. This is really a kind of hand-holding. The game's not going to throw everything at you, but it's the beginning of that big deck of cards starting to feed story into the game for you. The only
Okay.
thing that we know is that the main quests, which all of you have main quests that you're following, which are all different sides of the same story. And if one of them reaches its threat limit, then you will fail the chapter. Now, this game does not punish you for failing. We believe in celebrating incompetency and failing forward. And so what will happen is if you fail a main quest, you basically stop playing and you move on to the next chapter. So you're
Okay.
thrust into the next part of the next scenario, and it's a lot harder.
Okay.
And you're going to miss out all the rest of the storyline in this chapter, which means you could come back and play it again and see something you haven't seen.
Okay.
So let's move on. Of course, every good game of Skyrim begins with you being arrested or captured. So we've got 4 starting cards. This is the beginning of this narrative storyline. Let's start with you, Rahdo. I'm going to shuffle. Shout out, stop.
Stop.
Oh, you got arrested.
Go figure. Who knew?
Yeah. Now, who did you pick, Rahdo, as a character?
I'm a big guy who hits hard, I believe. Lord? Or
Yeah,
actually,
you
oh, no. For a brief moment, I was a big lady who hits hard, which I'm totally
can.
cool
You
with.
can be either. They're both the same. And yeah, that's right. You basically you're very good at combat. You've got a couple of extra abilities if you learn the various skills like two-handed and smithing. It's easier for you to upgrade your gear. You do extra damage with two-handed weapons. So you've got the arrested card. So
Right.
let's just quickly go through that. Do you want to read your story?
Sure. It is my story to tell. For months, I've been rebuilding my life in Windhelm. One day, guards break into my home and arrest me for no apparent reason. I'm thrown into an empty jail and left there to rot. The guards show up drunk at night, celebrating my capture. One of them falls asleep close to my door. I can see the keys poking out of his pocket, and while he's asleep, I grab them. I escape through the Windhelm jail. My path takes me to the barracks, where one of the guards who arrested me sleeps. I search through his belongings until I find a mysterious note. And then I should flip this card, which I believe is the F key, correct?
Yep.
Whee! I did it! Okay, I'm the
Great.
master of Tabletop Simulator. The note reads, "To all Windhelm guards, dangerous criminals are living in your midst. Their names are behind this letter. You must find and capture them. You'll be handsomely rewarded." And that is signed Mova Karnai. On the back of the
Cool.
letter, I find a list of the names of blades, mine included. And now I need to place my figure in Windhelm.
Yeah. So if you want to grab your Nord,
Where's Windhelm?
Windhelm is kind of East Coast. There we go. Our mystery
right.
helper has put a little arrow. There you go. Just
There we
there.
go. I see it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Now you've got a choice to make, Rahdo. Do you want to find some assistance to find Moiva, even if it's costly, or do you want the help of an information broker?
Oh, I need assistance. I am helpless on my own.
All right. So option 1, I think.
All
But
right.
that's going to cost you money, or maybe someone who's got some information.
Right, specifically, I'll get assistance to find Karnai, even if it's costly. I choose 2 equipment cards, or I seek the assistance of the information broker. No, no. I'll pay.
Okay.
Let's
So
give me card 164.
164. I will pump that out of this little. And this is free for anyone to play on Tabletop Simulator. You can just go and subscribe to the mod. And there's a great little pile of cards there. You put the number in at the top to pump out the card. So this is going to replace your quest. And then what we're going to do is go and pick some gear.
I completed a quest successfully? I'm the best.
Well, yeah, that's the easy one.
Okay.
So let's go up to the top of the board where there's a whole row of starting equipment we've laid out. So you can pick 2 of these, Rahdo. So you've got some choices. You've got some hide armor, some heavy iron armor. I'm gonna scan down. Like you've got an iron battle axe, two-handed battle axe, which is something you're good with. You've got shields, swords, daggers, longbows, robes, and spells.
Let's keep it simple. Let's double hand it.
Double-handed battle axe, yeah. There you go.
Yes, please.
And do you want some heavy armor, or do you want to go lighter armor?
I'm feeling a bit bloated. Let's go heavy.
Okay, there you go. I'll bring these down for you.
Thanks.
Right. So what we do is we just switch those out on. So your fists come down there. You might need them later. And the battle axe sits in this two-handed slot. You've also got some slots for a helmet, some boots, some wearables. You might find some cool magic rings and amulets, some potions, and then there's some slots for some status effects. Who knows? Maybe you'll become wanted for stealing a horse. You might gain vamp, and there are some slots for your backpack. So the only other thing to look at is on the quest card. It's called the Rebel. You can have up to 4 threat on this. Threat is going to come from event cards, and you can put threat on these quest cards or on the towns, which will cause you problems there. We'll have a look at that when an event card comes up.
Okay.
So you've got a little first bit of story here, and then we know that we need to put your quest marker on Dawnstar. So that's where you're going to need to go to start this quest.
Because my old blade friend, the Haggler, works as a sword for hire and spends her time at the inn in Dawnstar.
Right. So I'll grab you your yellow quest marker. So it's not too far away, just up in Dawnstar. Now, here's a little thing. There's a number in a box underneath the Dawnstar. If you see that, that means that you should be level 1 before you do this this quest. So the game's giving you a hint of the difficulty ahead, and maybe you want to go and level up, do some dungeons, take some, find some components, get some side quests. All right.
Am I big old level 0 at the moment?
You are indeed. So you've got,
right.
as you can see here, you've got 3 tracks. You've got health, stamina, and magicka, and you've got these little blocks here that tell you your level. The first time you get 7 XP, you're going to get a skill, and the skills could be, you'll see little coloured blocks that match the colours of your abilities. So your battle axe has the skill 2-handed or block on it. So if you were to learn 2-handed, it's going to help you fighting. And when you learn a skill, you then also bump up one of your attributes, and that will make you level 1, level 2, and so on. Right. We've got your starting story. Let's hop across. There's a Khajiit. Scratch.
Jeez, little scrappy. Got the sneak going on. Got the pickpocket going on. We work for the shadows. You know what I'm saying? Got some night vision. Let's do it.
Yeah, you're really good at sneaking. You are the proper ninja. So,
Yeah.
Jeremy,
So we pull a
I'm
card.
going to shuffle the cards. Just call out
Boom.
stop.
Boom. Stop.
Captured.
Oh, I had framed. You got to be kidding me.
Almost like the
You wanna
deck was
read-
stacked against us.
Do you want to read your story?
Where we got? Where am I at here? Where's my card?
I just brought the card over. It's at the.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Oh, okay. That's where we're at here. Okay. All right. All right, Mr. Howard Reed. Read. Good. Here we go. I wake up with a terrible headache. My hands and feet are bound to a chair. What happened last night, a man? My captor sleeps on a straw mattress nearby. I easily break my binds and face the sleeping guard. I dispatch him and explore the room. My captor's house is in a state of decay. Half the roof collapsed a long time ago, and a chicken freely roamed around. Inside a satchel, I find a mysterious note. It says, "Dear Neareth, I hear you're good at finding people. This letter contains a list of names I need you to find and capture. I'll make it worth your while. Moiv Karnai." On the back of the letter, I find a list of names of blades, mine included. Place your figure in Riften. So we'll go to Riften. To Riften. Bang. All right,
Yeah.
what does it say? So it says option 1, I'll get assistance to find them, even if it's costly. Choose 2 equipment. I sneak the assistance of information broker to find maneuver. Choose 2. Okay, we're definitely going to sneak, right? We're going to seek this. So it says seek information broker to find them.
Now, the interesting thing here is
Ooh.
actually these are the 2 of the same choices.
Yeah.
And you can also influence each other's fate. So remember, Rahdo picked choice 164.
I think I'm going to go 166.
Yeah, but if you did pick 164, you'd actually then pick 165, and his choice has changed your fate
I
already.
did not know this.
Yeah.
So let's go. Let's just go ahead with 166. Let's just do it.
Okay, I'm going to grab 166 for you.
All right.
That is I'm bringing it over for you. That is a new main quest called Runaway.
All right.
And then we need to get some gear for you. So let's pop up to the top of the board where that equipment is.
Give me that dagger, baby.
You got your name on the dagger, yeah?
Got
What
my
do you?
neighborhood deck.
If you want to go sneak heavy, there's the hide armor that also
Yep.
helps you with
We'll
sneak.
go with the hide armor.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Go for it. All right. Okay, you got that. There's a mysterious hand pulling around equipment here. Wonder who it is. Right. So you got some claws. They don't go away, but whilst you're holding the sword, it's your main
All right.
weapon. Sorry, the
Rock
dagger.
boots. Let's do it.
So
What's my main quest here? Let's see.
no,
It says I decided to look for my blade for my blade friend, Carillion, the hunter, at his house. And it's level 0, by the way. And
right.
then it says this place is empty. A neighbor tells me he left in a rush a few weeks ago. Inside, I realize he barely had time to gather his belongings. I look around for clues, and I can roll for lockpicking, which is one of my skills.
You don't have it yet. If you
Oh,
learn lockpicking, you're gonna, or you've got actually pickpocketing. But
I have
the thing
pickpocketing,
with
not
this is, so when you get to Winterhold, you have the option, the ability to do this challenge. Now, the
okay.
clever thing with this is it's telling you that you're going to be rolling 3 dice.
Yep.
How the difficulty of the challenge, which is 1 triangle. There's
Okay.
2 of the triangles on each dice. And if you want to reduce the chance of luck, if you have some plant components where you do have 2 now, if you've got some more plant components, then you would be able to use those to roll more dice. So it kind of works for, if you're a player who
Oh,
just rush in and risk it, and I don't care, you can do that. But if you want to run around and kind of get some more aid for this quest, you can.
Chris, let
So
me
I'm
tell you something about me, man. I live on the
going
end of a lightning boat, just like Dusty Rose told me, and I want to make this happen ASAP. So what am I
to.
doing?
So, well, that's really the end of the setup. We've got your
Yep,
quest marker on to hold. So
yep.
that's now are going to start the first turn, and I'm going to just grab the first player marker. We'll start with Rahdo
All
over
right.
here. And what we do on a turn is, first of all, the first player draws an event card. We got an event deck here. Just going to shuffle it. Do you want to draw a card, Rahdo?
All right. I assume I just drag and then I flip.
Yeah.
Look at me
Okay.
go.
Contract on cultists. The Black Sacrament has been performed. A group of cultists must die. The Brotherhood demands it. So this is a new quest that all of you know about.
All right.
So we've got a place on the board to put this. We're going to put a grey marker on Falkreath. So both of you could go there and do it. One of you could go there and do it. Whereas your normal quests, only you can do unless they're a combat, which rather you do have that. So let's look at what this does. You're going to have to fight a human and a Daedra enemy. And if you succeed, you're going to shuffle card 145 with the top 4 cards of the event deck. What that means is that's a good card that is going to come in from that big narrative deck. And this is an example of how that deck starts to feed into the story based on your actions. But if you fail, you're going to be spawning a wandering monster, a Daedra, on a wilderness space in Falkreath. And the other
Chris, do I
thing,
keep my claw card, by the way?
do you want?
Do I keep my claw card in my other hand?
You do, yeah. It's you can't actually keep it in the other hand because it counts as a two-handed. You have to be two-handed with it. But at
Oh,
any time, you can switch back to your claws. Don't
okay,
worry.
okay.
So we're going to put this quest card up on the world quest track. You can have up to 4 world quests at a time. If you get a 5th one, you have to fail one.
Okay.
So now you've got your quest. This hasn't triggered any threats. Sometimes you get a little bit of a breather from threats. So let's have a look at the board. Where do you want to go? Now you've got some options. You've got you've got your quests to head to. Rahdo, it's going to take you a couple of turns to get there. Jeremy, you can actually get there in 1 turn. Now, what you do is, as a group, you go, where should we go? I'd like to suggest, how about, do you want to go to a dungeon together?
Yes.
You're going to see how a little dungeon crawl.
But the sacrament! The Brotherhood demands it.
Yeah, I want to go into the dungeon, baby. Let's do it.
All right. And
Well,
it
you
looks
can
like,
do, you can do this
there's one
dungeon.
equidistant we can both reach.
There's one just here.
Yeah.
And so, for example, Rahdo, you could move 2 spaces down south to this cave in Eastmarch. The dungeons are all sorts of levels of
And it
difficulty.
did.
Yeah. So caves are the starting difficulty. Then you've got mines. You've got tombs where you can imagine you're going to fight some undead. You've got ruins where you might meet Daedra, and then of course Dwemer cities where you get the very hard and tough Dwemer constructs. So Jeremy, do you want to meet
Yeah.
Rahdo in the cave? Yeah.
How
By
much
default, we move 4 spaces,
how much
right?
movement do I have?
So you've got 4 spaces. So one,
1,
two, three.
2, 3, 4.
Yeah, you got it. So you're now in the dungeon, so you're going to do this together. I'm just over on the combat area on the right-hand side. So we have these little cards here, which are reference cards, which tell you how difficult the dungeons are. So in chapter 1, they're pretty easy, but they're going to get tougher and tougher as you go on through the big campaign. So the caves at the moment are built of 2 animals, but look down below. If you were to go into a ruins, you'd have a human and a Daedra, and so on. Sometimes these might be 3 or 4 or 5 rooms.
Right. Like the video game, the world levels up with you.
That's right.
Gotcha.
And it's got even a little bit more of that as well, which I'll talk about once we finish this first dungeon. So the dungeon decks are stacked. Here they're only 5 each. The actual game starts with 10 each. So you've got 50 different enemies you might fight. But remember that big stack of 500 plus narrative cards. There's a whole pile of enemies that are going to gradually get shuffled into these decks to ruin your day and but also give you great treasure. So think of these cards as different rooms of a dungeon, or maybe it's the most difficult thing you're going to face in that area of the dungeon before you move on, and you don't know what's in the next room yet. So this
crab. It's always crabs.
It is, yeah. So he's got what we call he's got heavy or red armor. The secret with fighting in this game is you have yellow armor, light armor, red, heavy, purple, magic. And not surprisingly, you can do heavy damage, which is red, yellow damage, light, purple damage, which is magic. You don't want to be doing the same colored damage as the defender because their armor is going to absorb it. You want to do a different color because it's going to go straight through. So our armor is also hit points. Now, if you can do 2 points of yellow or purple damage, you're going to kill the mud crab. So first of all, though, we happen to have a Khajiit who's good at sneaking.
And you can sneak up on this thing.
Yes, I can, baby.
Let's
You
do
ready
that.
for it, Jeremy?
Let's do it. I'm here for it.
Because you've got 2 items that have got the word sneak, the keyword sneak on them, that means you've got a total of 2 sneak. You always have 3 dice for a skill test, so that means you're rolling 5 dice, which is pretty good, for your sneak test. And if you look at the mud crab, his difficulty for sneaking is 1. He's pretty easy to sneak up on. So you just need one of these circular designs. There are 3 of them on each dice. So this is crazy.
5 out of 5. Bam.
You did it. Now,
Yay.
because you were successful at sneaking, you get to do any of your attacks for free. Okay? So you don't have to roll again to attack. And the damage from a dagger is doubled. So it's even better.
So
you only need
stab.
You could do any of those attacks, and any of those attacks, because your swing attack 1 does 1 yellow, is going to be doubled to 2. Your stab 2 is going to be doubled for 4. You can see the green symbol there. It means it costs you 1 stamina to do the stab attack. Which if you did the stab, you'd spend 1, but you're going to get it back at the end of this room anyway. You always regenerate your stamina and magicka at the end of the room. So you did 2 yellow damage. He's got 2 red. It goes straight through. Guess what? You both get an experience point. The enemy doesn't get to attack yet, but we'll see that in the next room. You can see that if he'd been able to attack, he would have could have done 1 red damage to you. So we're going to see how it works in the next room. So
if Cap had failed his sneak, unlikely, what would have happened?
Now, if he'd have failed his sneak, the enemy would have automatically done his skull attack because you stumbled and fell. So on a skull attack, in this case, it's just one. He's just got one attack, which does 1 red damage. Some enemies, their skull attack is usually the worst of their attacks. They might have
That's how
multiple.
much that's how much experience I get, right?
Yeah, so well, both of you. Here's the good thing about doing a dungeon co-op is you both get 1 experience point for just being in the room together.
Oh, so I get 1.
Oh, yeah, I got you one there. I'm going to put 1 on Rahdo as well.
I was literally in the room where it happened.
You were kind of direct.
Confirmed kill. Confirmed
You're
kill.
like, sneak up on him, Jeremy. And he's like, yeah, I know. That's what I'm doing.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, this was totally my plan. I do think I deserve all the credit.
So
Okay.
Jeremy, you get to replenish your stamina.
Okay.
The only thing you don't replenish is health. So
Okay.
that's where you need to have some plant components to
Yeah.
use for your potion of healing. And there's other ways to mitigate that as well. Right, you stumble into the next room, arguing about who's going to go first. Now, because Jeremy, you acted in the last room, you acted last, you can't go first. You can't sneak up on the skeever. He's got
Okay.
3 yellow armor, and you can see he hits on a skull, sword, or axe. He still only does 1 red damage, but now it's time for Rahdo, the brave Nord, to show us what he can do. Now, Rahdo, you can't sneak up on him, and even if you could have, you did have something that would let you sneak. Because you're wearing heavy armor, you're too noisy.
All right.
So first of all, we're going to see what happens. The monster will always attacks you first. So there's a red dice here. Do you want to roll the red dice?
You betcha. Boom.
You got a lightning bolt. Well, he missed you because the lightning bolt doesn't trigger an effect. So now it's your chance to shine. Let's have a look at your board.
Right. So he wanted to roll what? He wanted to roll that axey thing?
Yeah, he needed the axe, the skull, or the
Gotcha.
crop.
He needed one of those, so he failed.
He basically had a 1 in 2 chance to hit you. He's
Right.
trying to snap at your ankles at the moment. So let's have a look.
I should try to hit him.
Sorry? Yeah, it's definitely time for you to hit him. So have a look at the battle axe on your character card.
All right.
So you've got a couple of choices, and this is dependent on the risk you want to take. So you can swing, which needs 2 circles, and we'll do 2 red or
There's a
2
gigantic purple hand on my card.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's easy to do that. So you've got 2 choices. Do you try and get 2 damage, which won't kill him, but it's much easier because you only need 2 circles? Or do you risk all and try and roll a diamond? There's only 1 diamond on each of those 3 dice, but that will kill him out. Now, you only get to roll 3 dice, but you can push. Our push mechanic is very simple. If you don't get the result you need, you can push up to twice whilst you're level 0 and 1. What that means is this attack will cost 1 stamina, and if you don't get the result you need, you can spend a stamina to roll 1 more dice. And if that doesn't get you what you need, you can spend another stamina to roll another dice.
Okay.
So how lucky you're feeling?
I'm feeling very lucky.
Okay.
I came to chew gum and kill rats, and I'm all out of bubble gum. So let's chop.
So you were looking to come over to the dice, and you're going to roll 3 dice.
You're saying I have 3, right?
Yeah, 3 dice to start with. You're going to be able to push with more if you need.
And then push. All right. Here, and I'm looking for 1. I just need 1 of those pesky diamonds.
Yeah.
No problem.
Oh, well, that's cocked.
3 diamonds! Hooray! Oh, those are.
I think this one's cocked. I think you should roll it again.
I think I clearly. I blame Tabletop Simulator. Oops. There we go. There we go. Nope, nothing. I fail. I can roll it all. Oh, there's a proper roll.
Oh, you did it.
There you go. That's pretty cheesy, though. I don't feel good about that.
Oh boy, we'll take it though.
All right. All's fair in love and war.
So Rahdo, that cost you a stamina, but you've just done 4 red damage to him. You literally sliced that skeever in half because he's only got 3 yellow. So that goes straight through his armor and he's dead. Okay. So you've got mud crab and skeever for roasting for dinner tonight, and you get another experience point each, which you can go and grab. I'll grab one for you, Jeremy. There you go. So you should have 2 each of
Yep.
the 7 you need to level up. So, first of all, let's just tidy up the dungeon. So if you were level 1, you would now discard these monsters forever. You'll never see them again in the entire campaign because the game's scaling up with you. But you're still level 0, so they don't go away. But there's a very simple mechanic here so that the game does scale a little bit. We turn the deck over. We're going to take the top card from the animal deck, shuffle these, and put the 3 back on top. So what that means is something a bit harder is now shuffled in with those top cards. So you can't just keep mining the easy dungeons without them
Right.
getting tougher. The game is gradually filtering in the more difficult cards and adversaries for you.
And we also know our likelihood is we're going to run into another crab and another rat.
Yeah,
Right.
pretty sure. But there
So
might
we
be
can also plan a little bit but not have perfect information.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, as you get some better gear, you might think, you know what, we want a bit more treasure, a bit more rewards. Let's go to a cave, and
Yeah.
and then so on. Right. Remember, you always get treasure in a dungeon. So if you come up to the where the starting equipment goes, we've got 2 treasure decks here. We've got a B basic treasure deck. So I'm just going to shuffle that. Yeah. So you always get 1 basic treasure at the end of a dungeon. And some monsters and quests will give you A treasures, which are much more awesome. So, Rahdo, do you want to draw the card because you killed the
I do think I earned it. Yeah.
the skeever? So let's see what you get. Oh, a hunter's bow.
I think I would like to donate this to my good
Yeah,
friend
buddy.
There you
Captain
go.
Cat.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it.
So, you can either put that in a 2-handed slot and instead of the dagger.
Yeah, let's do it. That was
And
just like
there you go. Now you can sneak with a bow.
Yep.
And the other thing with the bow is your first attack with the bow is always very easy. Look, it only needs 1 circle and it does more
Yeah.
damage. Then the second attack is a bit harder, doesn't do as much, but you can sneak with this. You just don't get the double damage of the dagger. So, and the other thing is your iron dagger did give you sneak 1 whilst it's equipped. So you're reducing the number of dice you can sneak with, but you're pretty good at sneaking. I think you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. That's the end
And
of the turn.
remind me, my stamina was at the end of a round, or at the end of the fight, or at the end of the turn when it refreshes.
At the end of a round, which is a room. So every room,
Okay.
each of those cards is an encounter. You could call it a room, you could call it an area, but it's like 1 major encounter. And so your stamina and magicka fills up. If you are low on your stamina, you can burn health instead, which is risky. Or and same thing with magicka. If you've got no magicka left because you've been spending it on spells, you can burn health. Or you can take a turn out. You can risk taking damage from the enemy and do a rest, in which case you get 2 stamina and 2 magicka back.
Okay. And
Right,
so this was we were together. If we hadn't been together, if Jeremy was in there by himself, he would have done the entire dungeon as 1 turn, or would he have been like taking multiple turns while I'm still walking around outside?
He would have so he would have done a quick couple of turns. So
Gotcha.
obviously it would go quicker because he's on his own, and then
Cool.
you would whoever's the first player, actually it's you would have taken your action. Maybe you went to a town and did an event or an encounter. But as you play together, you kind of do it together. So the first player now moves to Jeremy. So Jeremy, do you want to pick an event card?
All right. So here we go.
What did you get? Whoa. This is the
Move
one
a
card.
hitter token to the nearest stronghold, and if it reaches the stronghold, degrade it and remove the token. If there are no Deidre tokens on the board, place 1 on. Where's this tree thing? Oh, here, right here, right?
It's like a wilderness space. So wilderness spaces are typically where wandering monsters start, and they're also places you can go and meet interesting characters and get side quests. So we've got a bunch of wandering monsters up here. The base game comes with vampires, Daedra, trolls, dragons, cultists, and justiciars. So I'm going to grab you a Daedra token.
Oh,
We got it in the middle of the board here. They're double-sided, so you'd flip it to
okay.
see which one it is. One is more harder, tougher to fight than the other. So you need to pick a wilderness space, ideally that's further away from a town or a stronghold, so it's not too much of a risk. You can go and fight it, and you can't move over that space if without fighting the Daedra.
I want to fight the
I have to
Daedra.
admit, my mad scientist tendencies would be to put it as close to the town as possible to see
Yeah,
what happens when the town gets
Sure, why
overrun.
not?
yeah,
We
I
could,
know.
yeah.
Let's see it.
So in that case, for example, there's a wilderness here if you want.
We are the
Maybe,
worst
Yeah,
heroes.
yeah. Let's put it down here.
okay, let's do it here. Right, there you go. So now the card also gave us 2 threat, and if there were any Daedra on the board already, they would move. So now that's just a very simple event card.
Where do these
It's
go?
Yeah, so we've got 2 threats. Now you've got to decide where to put the threat. You can put them on your quest cards. You can put them on a town as well.
Oh,
So we
Well,
could
I
see
think
what
there is a town under threat.
yeah.
there is. So, for example, you could say to Riften, you want to put some threat on Riften. If you have a look at the top right of the board, we can see there's a chart for all the towns. You can see we don't have the market decks in the demo, but it shows you like the red symbol is that you could buy and sell the Path of Might gear there, which is like heavy armor and swords. Green is the Path of Shadow, which you can imagine might be light armor and stealthy weapons and bows. And the blue symbol is for Path of Sorcery, so spells and potions. And then we also have some images of components, whether they cost less or more than normal. They always usually cost 5, but sometimes, for example, Markarth, you can buy ore for 4. Now, every town can have up to 3 threat, like your quests can have threat. But there's a consequence. If you put the first one on, you can no longer buy or sell in that town. If you put the second one on, then you have to pay 5 septims to bribe your way in. And if you put the third one on, it's generating threat. So the world starts to spiral out of control. So you have to decide. You've both got a quest that can take up to 4 threat before it fails. But do you want to put one on a town instead?
Let's put it on a town, man.
Yeah.
Which town do you want to put it on?
Well,
Let's
thematically, I think it should be the town that the Daedra are marching towards.
right. So let's go to
Rift.
Riften. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're marching to Riften. Yeah,
Okay. Don't say I didn't inform you.
Again, worst heroes ever.
we're going to go address this right now, though.
Do you want to put them both on
Yeah,
Riften?
let's do it. Yeah, because I want
Okay.
to address this right away, straight away.
Now
Yeah.
you can the
Kill
way
2
to
threats in 1 turn.
that's right, 2 you get 2 in 1 turn. Sometimes it will force you to put them on quests, but in this case you've got the choice. So Riften is currently in trouble. You can remove those by spending 5 septims when you go there.
And that's a gold. That's a buck, right?
Yeah, you won't get a reward for it, but you will get. I mean, what will happen is chances are you might get a quest that sends you to Riften, and then you'll be cursing your decisions. Right now, you
show
can
up in town and say, "Calm down, everybody. Here's some cash. It's going to be okay."
yeah,
It's gonna be all right.
yeah, but you've got no money at the moment, so you need to go and rob. I mean, you need to find some treasure from some, innocent monsters in a dungeon. So you've got a choice. You could, for example, you're at this cave. So 1, 2. You could go to Falkreath and do this global quest. You could head up to Jeremy. You're in 1 move of Winterhold if you want to do your dungeon. And Rahdo, you can't. You've got 5 spaces to get to Dawnsguard, but you could maybe go and do a wilderness encounter and see how that works.
I could do 1, 2, 3 to get there. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3 to this dungeon right here.
You're going to do another dungeon, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you thinking, Rahdo?
What? Educate me. What is a Daedra?
So a Daedra is I guess like an otherworldly demonic being. So it's going to be quite tough.
Are they weak to axes?
They might be a bit tough for you at the moment.
Probably. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Riften will be fine. It will
Yeah.
be fine.
Well,
No,
Let's see.
well, can I go to this dungeon then that's closer?
you can. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that way
Yeah.
I
I
could go.
guess. See, I'm trying to follow the road. So 1, 2, 3. I can get over to Falkren
1, 2. Yeah, you could have gone
because
like
I'm all about putting down those cultists.
let's do it. Okay, so we go in the order of first player. So Jeremy's got the first player token. So you're in another dungeon, the Khajiit, yeah?
Yeah,
Let's see what happens. So I'm going to draw you 2 cards. Now, when you're on your own, you can sneak each room because it's
yeah,
just when it's more than one player, everyone has to take a turn.
yeah. So I'm sneaking in.
You got a mud crab. So
Okay.
you're okay at the moment. Let's do your sneak test. Now, you've only got 3 dice plus sneak 1. You're rolling 4 dice. Now, the Khajiit does have an ability. You could lose a health to gain sneak 1
No,
if
we're
you want.
good.
I
We're
don't think
good.
you need it. Yeah, I don't think you need it.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
you definitely didn't need it.
Deck the
So
halls with a ton of hits.
you can
Ah, fa
totally,
la 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 la.
yeah, you can totally trash him with your bow.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
costs you a point of stamina, but you get it back at the end of this encounter.
yeah,
So he is gone, and you just scored another XP.
yeah.
I'm just gonna turn one of them over. There we go. You got 3. So now for the next room. What did you get? Oh, a bear.
Oh,
Yeah, it's the newbie.
There we
Good
go.
luck.
so sneak
Sneak
3.
3. So he's got yellow. Now the good thing is you've got your bow that does red damage.
Yeah.
Alternatively, you could switch to your claws, but they do the claws will hit for 2 red as well, and they're easier to use. It would cost you 1 stamina to switch to,
Okay.
um, and I think that might be a good try.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
do that now, so that costs
You
you
need to
1.
switch on your Wolverine helmet.
Yeah. Now
All
you
right.
can. Now
Let's
you want
see
to.
here.
Do you want to try the sneak? You got
Yeah.
4 dice. You can't push sneak tests. It's like you either do it or you fail. But I think you've got a chance. Oh,
Oh, dude.
that's not the dice you're looking for.
It's not the
So
dice I'm looking.
he does. Look at the bear. He does a maul on you
Oh, he
automatically.
needed 3 successes. Ouch.
Yeah. So
Uh,
He smelled you coming.
yeah. Now you've got a choice here, Jeremy. If you want, rather than attacking, you can do a dodge. And you will, instead of spending a stamina to attack, you will spend a stamina to dodge, which is a triangle.
okay. Let's do it.
Do you want to try that? Okay.
Yeah, let's
It
do
depends
it.
how, yeah, he's doing a lot of damage to you, so I think it's probably a good idea.
Okay, so what do I'm rolling. I'm looking for this.
Yeah,
This
you're looking at a triangle. There's 2 triangles on each dice, and it's costing you a stamina.
right. Okay.
It's going to help you survive a bit longer.
All right.
If Jeremy was really up against it, could he run away?
He could. At the end of at this point, he could. He's doing his attack now. After that, before the next round starts, he could be like, "Nah, out of here."
So how many dice do I roll for dodge?
So you roll always roll 3 dice.
Okay.
So unless you've got a skill that gives you more. You will be able to push if you need to. You did it.
Yeah.
You did it. So you avoided all that damage. So now it's the next turn, and as a normal combat round, the bear tries to attack you. He's got he gets an attack in on 4 different results. So he's going to miss 2 out of 6 or 1 in 3. You got a lightning bolt,
Well,
crush. You did
crush.
2 red. I think you should take it, and then
Yeah, I'll
you need
take it like a champ.
to take it. So you need to reduce your health by 2. You're okay so far. Don't worry. Now
Okay.
you can do your attack. So you've got a simple attack which costs you 1 stamina. Going to do 2 red damage to him. He's got yellow armor. The alternative is to do the scratch, which doesn't cost you any stamina, but it's a bit harder to get with the
I think
triangle.
we'll do the tear.
Yeah, whilst you've got some stamina, I'd use it.
Yeah.
You only
So
need one.
I need 1 stamina. I'm rolling 3 dice.
Yeah.
Wait, I get 1 more. I get 1 more, right?
No,
Because I have
only
sneak, right?
no, because sneak is only when you're that
Oh,
very
when I initial come in there.
yeah.
Oh!
You did it. So you've knocked his health down by 2 because he's got yellow armor,
Okay.
and now it's back to him. Next round.
That's
Gonna roll
stamina for me, though, right? Yeah, scrap
yeah.
tear.
Yeah, just 1. So you've got 2 stamina left.
All right.
So roll for the bear. See what he does. And if you wanted to, Rahdo, you could be rolling for the bear to
Well, that would be
So
thoughtful of me.
2 yellow damage. 2.
He does 2 yellow. Now have a look. You've got hide armor with
Right.
2 yellow
2.
armor.
Yeah.
So remember what I said, colors block colors. So
Yeah.
you blocked all his damage, but there's a cost to that, which is 1 stamina.
Oh, wow.
So if you'd taken 5 yellow damage, you would have blocked 2 of the yellow and taken 3 damage.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But when you block all the damage, you always take 1 point of stamina. Okay,
Okay.
now chance to kill him. You only need to do 2 damage. You could just do the tear if you want, and it will just cost you 1 stamina.
Yeah. That's all of it. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do it.
Ah, you did
Hey!
it.
All right.
You knocked it out the park. Right. So you get 1 XP.
Experience.
You also get 1 of these 2 rewards because everyone gets the XP, but then the person who did the killing blow gets to choose the first reward. Anyone else in the room can make other choices in order of players. So I would imagine you want to get the basic treasure, right?
Yes. Yes.
And then let's just reset this deck. Now, of course, we oops, sorry. Now, if you're clever, you'll realize that you've seen the top 3 cards,
Right.
and you know there's a bear in there that's tougher.
Yep, 24%, 25% chance
Yeah,
of bear
That's-
attacks.
and you won't see anything tougher until you level up.
Okay.
So first of all, Jeremy, draw the basic treasure for killing the bear. Oh, the ring
Yeah.
of life. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
So
it
this
is.
you roll once per game turn. Now that when you say game turn, that is a whole turn, not every single encounter in a dungeon. So you
Okay.
might save that for the
Bosses.
of the boss.
Yeah.
You can also sell it for 2 gold, but you can also enchant it. If you have 3 soul gems, you can add an enchantment effect.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
then let's draw the next treasure for completing the dungeon.
Oh. Look at
Ooh,
this. What is that? Steel dagger. Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
That's better
I
than your
have it, though.
yeah. You've got a iron dagger.
Iron dagger.
So this is a better quality. It does a bit more
Yeah.
damage.
A little bit more damage there. 3 yellow. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So I got these 2 babies right here.
Not jealous at all.
You know?
All right. So we've done the Khajiit. He's got his rewards. Back
Can I
up
just
to the
can I
board.
just switch these out? Just the stamina goes back up, right?
Yeah, everything goes back up, even your health. Nothing you don't carry
Oh, even
over.
hell.
Yeah. So nothing carries over. Oh yeah, sorry. There you go.
Okay.
Right.
Can I
The-
switch these out even though it's my turn's over? Like, can I
you
just switch
can,
them out?
yeah, you can switch anything around that you like. Out of interest, if you carry both daggers, then you gain the benefit of both sneak keywords. So you would gain you would have a total of 3 sneak, or I'll be rolling 6 dice. You don't
And you
get
would look
yeah, and you don't get to add up. You don't attack with both weapons, but you have the choice of which weapon you want to attack with. So, for example, if the dagger does yellow damage, maybe you find a weapon that does red damage, and that would give you some.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So meanwhile, the Nord is busy quaffing ale in the town of Falkreath, and let's hope he's not drunk too much because he's got a fight on his hands. Are you ready?
Yep.
We've got
Where
a
are the
human.
cultists?
You've got a human and a Daedra. So let's go back over to the dungeon area. So we're going to draw a human.
I was too late. You already summoned the Daedra.
So now this isn't a normal dungeon, so you won't be drawing a treasure card at the end of this, but you'll get the reward on each of the cards, and you get the reward for the global quest. So who have we got? Bandit Berserkers.
Hey, chum.
Now, Bandit Berserkers, they ambush you. So
that's not cool.
they're going to immediately attack you. You can't sneak anyway. And regardless of what they roll in the
They
ambush,
heard me coming again with the heavy armor.
they totally did. Then they're going to do a normal combat round where they attack again. So why don't we, does Jeremy, do you want to roll the dice?
Yeah, you got it. So here we go. How many do I roll? This one, just this one.
Just one red to see what the Berserker does. It's a good way to keep everyone involved. Oh,
Okay.
you got flame. So
Flame.
swings at you, Rahdo, 4, and it says
one yellow or red.
One yellow. So what you do is you choose the worst one for you. So you've got red armor, so he's going to do yellow damage. You can't absorb it, so you take 1 wound, Rahdo.
All right. And is that my red track?
Yeah.
Oop.
Now he's doing
Just a scratch.
he's doing the normal attack on you, normal combat turn, and you have a chance to. And if you don't like this, you could try and blocking it, but he's not. He doesn't do too much damage. So Jeremy, go on. You're on dice duty again.
Let's do it. Oh, whoops. Here we go. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
That was worth waiting for.
Yeah, there you go. Right, so back to you to do an attack. Let's check. Remember, he's got yellow armor. He's pretty tough. So you want to be doing
Red
damage. So do you feel lucky again, or do you want?
How many points did he have?
Do it.
He's got 4, so you could kill him in one blow if you.
No, I'm not. There is no can. There's do or do not.
There's no can. There's do.
I am going to do.
Great. So let's do it. So you got to pay your stamina and roll the dice.
Do I?
Yeah, just pay the 1 stamina.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm not zoomed in. Oop. There we go. Hey, there's a handy helping hand there. All right.
Yeah.
I'm rolling 3.
3 dice.
Boom. Goes the dynamite.
Yes, you got it.
No, you didn't. No,
I got the middle one, not the diamond.
Now it's a 1 in 6. So it's a it's a risky.
And so now I push again, and it's still pushing with stamina, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Is there a helping hand who's going to do that for me?
Okay, you got it. Hold on a second.
I get by with a little help from my friends. And this push means I re-roll everything, correct?
No, only 1 dice. That's what I mean. It's quite risky.
Only 1 at a time.
Yeah. So
that's unfortunate.
Do you want to
go
roll?
for it?
Go on ahead and roll that one.
No.
Let's try again.
Come on, Richard. Go.
Yeah, I only live once. Boop.
Never stop stopping.
Nice. That was almost.
That didn't even flip. It just spun.
That's what I'm saying. You got to do a true roll. I can't stand
right.
when it does that. You got a true roll.
How much more stamina do I have?
Oh gosh, you have.
Not push anymore. You've still got 2 stamina.
Then let's go again.
You can't.
Oh my god.
Statistically speaking, if I roll 6 dice, I should get a success.
You can only
That's just
push.
math.
You can only push twice.
I can only push twice.
Yes, that's right. So it's back to his turn to attack you. So Jeremy, do you want to roll the dice? Maybe you can.
Oh god.
He's hitting you.
As I recall, this game supports failing forward, which I think I might be demonstrating now.
You might need it.
He's hitting you for 2 red damage, but you've got 3 red armor, so you absorb it, and so your stamina drops by 1.
All right.
Okay. I'll do it for you. So it's back to you. What do you reckon? You're going to risk everything again?
So now that I have no stamina, I can't absorb damage anymore?
You got 1.
So
I still have 1. I still have 1, yes.
You've got 1 left. But if you want to push, you're going to have to use your health, which obviously gets risky. Or you can rest and gain 2 stamina back.
Oh, in the middle, I could take a breather during the fight.
Yeah.
Time enough for rest in the grave. I'm chopping again.
Okay.
That was not a confident K. That was a very tentative K. I want some good vibes sent out to this physics simulator. Here we
Vibes. Let's
go.
go, man. Let's do it. Come on.
Oh,
Wow.
Ah,
Jeez. So that
So
is
that's
7 dice I have rolled and not a single success.
brutal.
so now you've got to make the choice to burn your health or leave it for this turn, and then maybe next turn rest and regain some.
I still have to fight the ghost, right?
The next room, yes, yeah.
Oh,
The
I don't
day-
have a chance. I mean,
There's a
you
chance.
think? What do you think?
Well, you've got a
Is
healing. potion.
discretion the
You
better
can-
part of valor?
You got
I,
okay. So
uh,
you have this potion though.
Oh, I do have a
Turn-
healing
oh,
potion.
you
You're
don't-
right.
you
Okay.
don't need to use.
Let's
it.
push. Let's push. Push it real good. I'll take a point of damage.
All right.
Show this guy who's boss. All right. Oh, just need to select one of them. It's you. And let's go on ahead and roll. Triple, quadruple roll.
Oh,
Come on. 8 dice.
Oh, no, dude.
How much does that my potion heal me?
you don't need to use it yet.
I know, but how much does it heal me?
Oh, it heals 1 point. Now, here's the thing. If you have a look at your health track, there's a little block, which we
I will
call it
take a look.
the last wound. So what happens is you can't go past that point and die. And
Oh.
dying isn't that bad. So if you do take 2 wounds or get to that point, you can't go past this on the same turn. You've got a chance to go, you know what, I've got one last turn. One last chance. I can do this. Or you've got a chance to leave the dungeon before you get killed. So you've got to, and also when you get to that point, you can then pay your potion of healing, pay the 2 components to put yourself back up. And again,
Right.
you can't go
Because that's
beyond.
an instant. I can do the potion whenever I need to.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Literally
Then we're gonna keep rolling.
Okay.
Again, I sense some
feel
real
it. You
hesitancy.
feel the
that,
vibes.
okay.
Do it.
Do it. You're a Nord. You can do it.
That's
Brute
the way
force.
we do it. All right, here we go.
Come on, Richard.
Oh,
Wow. Is that 9 rolls?
it is. I think so.
The math is not in my favor
The math
today.
is not on your side, sir.
Yeah.
So, do you want to let the bandit have a chance at you again before you?
No, I'm gonna one hit
All
this
right.
guy.
So you're down to your last wound. Oh wait,
Yeah.
sorry. We
No.
have look.
But wait a minute, I've got special powers.
You do. You can lose a wound to use an offensive action without being attacked. Now that would be for next turn. So because he's already attacked this turn. So what I would
Okay.
suggest is use your final wound to let him end this round. Use your final wound so that next round he doesn't attack you and you're going to get to attack
Well, it's
him.
not my final wound. I've still got a potion.
Now, yes, and then you can heal yourself back up with the potion and make an attack. Or you could rest.
Okay. You can rest.
Yeah.
The 10th freaking roll has to work. It just has to.
So,
So-
like, I you know what? I
Yeah.
pegged you as a person who would never do something like this, and I
Yeah.
applaud you for your bravery. You are so brave. I had no idea you were this brave. I'm usually that person that's trying to chuck as many dice as possible. This is ridiculous. I love it.
Just math.
I love it. I'm here for it. You should rest
So,
though.
I drink my potion to get my health back?
I just want to let you know you
No,
should
but
rest.
I can only push twice anyway.
Yeah, you can use your health potion, so that gives
But
you a
I
point.
can only push twice, I think you said, right? So
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
all right.
So
This guy.
you're
Right,
on your
so yeah,
final.
next round I'll use that power so he can't hit me. I'll roll everything. I will have rolled 12 dice by that point, and I will have finally gotten 1 success.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if you
Yeah.
use your power, you'll be on your last wound, which means you've got no stamina, so you would literally kill yourself to attack again. So really, what you want to do is, I would actually wait and see if he gets an attack in, because he's only got 1 in 2 chance to attack. If he hits you,
Yeah. I mean,
If
this
he
round
hits-
is over. I can't push anymore.
that's right. Yeah. Yeah. So why don't let's roll for him to see what he
yeah,
gets.
Or unless we don't roll for him because I use my last health so that he can't attack me, right?
You can, yes.
With
But
my
the thing
barbarian
is,
thing?
you can only do that to use an offensive action without being attacked.
In
So
combat, spend 1 health to use an offensive action without being attacked, which would be
yeah,
chopping him again.
except you've got no stamina left, and if you burn your last health
Oh,
point, it will kill you.
right. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, I have no
yeah.
stamina left. Nobody wants to rest in the middle of a fight,
Yeah.
but I
So all right, well
guess.
let's get Jeremy to roll for the bandit to see.
Okay.
Maybe he'll miss.
All right. Let's.
I got blanks in me. Here we go. That wasn't a blank.
He missed.
You missed.
He got
Oh yeah,
a.
he has no lightning bolt. Okay,
So what you could do is rest now and
I'm
regain 2.
exhausted, very tired. I will. Was it
Yeah,
2 I get back?
yeah. You get 2
Thank
back,
you.
which is should be enough
All right.
to finish, maybe.
I
So
will continue my
next
drunken staggering around, just swinging big and missing every time.
yeah, you really did too much of that mead. So
Yep.
we're back to the bandit again, new round.
So
So
now I could
you could
use
leave.
that health, and so I don't have to worry about. Although is he going to hurt me for 1? Oh no! Again, I care now.
Yeah.
Let's
Well,
go
now
ahead and avoid taking damage
might
from
miss.
him by using my battle cry, so I can ignore him. Or is the worst he can do was 1?
The worst he can
You
do
do it.
He can do
is
2.
2. Well, exactly, except on either of them. Well, if he does the first attack, which is the skull or flame, he could do
Yeah.
a yellow, which would drop your health down. But then
Right.
you've got a health potion, so you can regain that if you need to.
Oh, whereas the other one, okay, so yeah, then there's no reason for me to do that because he cannot hit me with the 2.
Yes, that's right.
Because
Yeah,
I
it
got
would
the
bring
armor.
up a point of
Although the armor
stamina.
will eat my stamina, but I do have 2 stamina.
Yes,
All right.
and he might miss anyway. So let's
Hit me with your
let's
best
roll.
shot.
Jeremy, go on, roll
Come
for
at me,
the
bro.
roll badly.
Here we go. I
Yeah,
got a
roll
couple of
like
blanks in me. Here we go.
All right.
Miss.
He missed.
Swing and a
He
miss.
missed.
Apparently,
So
everybody's just staggering around drunkenly in this fight.
right, that's right.
All right. Well, I would like to exert myself once again. I'll even do it myself like a big boy. And roll 3 bones.
All right, Richard. Here we go, man.
Yes,
There we
Do it,
go.
you
It
got it.
only took 12 dice to get 1 success.
you knocked him. You knocked him out. So you gain another XP, and all your stamina is regained.
I feel much better now,
What's this here? 3.
except I'm still almost dead.
What's
And
this?
also, you gain some money. You get
Oh,
a
money.
reward of 3 gold. So I'm going to grab that, and then we're going to move on to the next room.
Ooh,
Hopefully, you've got enough health to keep you going.
Oh, I
What
like
have
my
we got?
chances.
Oh, a flamethrower trap. Okay, this
Oh.
is pretty tough. Oh, it's actually a red block. Now,
Oh,
you can try to lockpick this. You just need to get 2 circles on 3 dice. If you had a lock,
and I
skill,
got 1 push, right? Yeah.
you can't push with you can only push with combat. So
Oh, really? Oh, just across the board. Pushing is only
yeah,
for
so
combat rounds.
combat you can push, and if a skill test tells you that you can push with a certain
You would
resource,
say if
then
I could. Okay. All right.
yeah. Now,
I roll 3 dice. Each of them has a 50% chance I need 2 successes.
yes, if you
And if
miss,
I don't do that, what happens?
it triggers the trap, which will do 3 red damage, but
Which
you
I
can
don't,
only...
which I ignore because I've still got stamina.
Ah, yes, that's right. Yes, indeed. You're gonna absorb it. So
Yeah.
let's see what you can do.
I could use a trip to the sauna, I think.
let's do it, dude. I want to see you pass. Like after all those rolls, you have to have good. You have to
Okay.
have good fortune.
Is there any downside to trying to lockpick?
Only if you fail, they automatically hit you. But
But
as
they
you
were
can
going to hit
see,
me anyway.
well,
No,
the
there's a chance they
trap
won't hit me.
hit
But even if they hit
by
me,
that.
it just bounces right off my armor. So
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty safe bet. You're lucky with that.
Let's see if I've made some bad career choices so far, and I should have been a fellow cat burglar. No, I clearly am good at nothing.
Oh,
Oh wow! So you, but remember, you've got 3 red armor.
Yes,
So you
exactly. I wasn't
I'm
worried.
going to absorb it for you. So now you can't try to lockpick anymore. You just got to destroy the trap, and it's only got 1 red armor. So you just need to do a normal attack, which is you can do your swing, which just needs 2 circles. You're going to destroy the trap.
Yep. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what my mama raised me to do.
That's
So
you another stamina.
yep. All right, here we go. I'm
But
sorry.
you can push. You can push. Don't worry. So
Sure. I'll push. I'll push it real good. All right, here we
All right.
go.
Oh my
I
god!
get
You
one
Right,
more
have the
push.
worst dice luck in the history of dice luck.
Yep.
you can push once more. You
Here
can
we
push
go.
once.
Third time's the charm. Most common thing in the game. Nope.
Richard, you
Oh,
gotta roll the dice, man. When you roll the dice, you gotta like roll them. See how I just did that?
That was Jeremy. That was not me. So I
Yeah, you
am
gotta
on
roll it.
fire now.
So hold on, Richard. When you from now on, when you roll the dice, hit it multiple times so that way the
Yeah,
dice
I
actually
was doing that
cycle.
before. I just forgot to do that this time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because sometimes it'll
alright.
just flip over and that's it.
I saw that, or it'll just like spin along the
Yeah,
x-axis, and so it'll
yeah,
land exactly the same as it started. That
yeah,
totally happens to me in real life.
yeah.
Well, in the interests of time, because I know we don't have loads of
All
time.
right, we'll say I don't completely.
I'm gonna
push
pretend
the
that I
R
didn't see that roll, and you destroyed the Flamethrower Trap. So you get another 3 gold.
The
And
audience is not impressed, I'm sure, or perhaps they're wildly impressed by my epically
I
poor
think
game.
it's the desire for success. Now, these of course go back into their relevant decks. I'm going to let our helper do that, and you gain a treasure. Do you want to grab a treasure from the B deck?
I
Rahdo?
think I earned it. From the B deck, the one on the right.
The left hand
No,
one.
the one on the left. All right.
Yeah. What'd you get?
Lip.
Ooh, that is so perfect for you.
That seems
Ooh.
like that was made for me.
Yeah.
Oh. Boy, and you had the
It's
dice
almost
to
like you
roll this
stacked the
every
deck for me
time.
there, but I don't think you could
Yeah.
Yeah, you had the dice to roll this every time.
have.
The
So,
luck,
do you
the
wanna-
luck you had, you rolled that symbol every time.
Yeah, I think there might be a change coming soon. This is also a two-handed weapon, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Feeling much better now.
Okay. So,
It was all the axe. It was the axe's fault, not me.
now the other thing is, you finished the quest, and
Yay!
you killed the 2 enemies. Now we're going to shuffle 1, 4, 5. I'm going to get that card out of the deck. So we got this new event card, Killing Cultists. So
Oh,
this we're going to shuffle this in. Once per
yeah, I'm
turn,
really good at that.
one player can gain 1 dice on any skill test in any one encounter. So that's going to get
Okay.
shuffled in. So that's a good card. When you achieve these global quests, they give you cool extra cards to shuffle in, and that means you have got some helping cards coming up in the deck, and it's reducing the chance of getting the bad cards.
Okay.
And we would
So-
draw that, and then we'd hold on to it till we have a fight.
No, it would actually. It's an active event, so it actually sits here in this active event space.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's always on until another active event replaces it. There are various kind of short stories that are currently happening that are beneficial to you.
Right.
So that's the end of the turn. And I'm conscious that we are a bit short of time, so I could,
I
if
want to
you
go
like,
check out these forests.
yeah. Do you want to see what a forest does? Would you like me
Yeah.
to kind of show you some of the other things that you could do?
Yeah,
on turn?
that's what I want to
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
I want to try others. I
Yeah.
want to see. That's why I'm saying I want to see other stuff. Like we
Yeah,
went
I
hard on
want
the
to see
comics.
a town go down in flames.
So, Rahdo, you're in Falkreath,
Mhm.
and you could do a town event.
Okay.
So a
Right. So
town
this
event,
turn, I'm not moving. I'm just towning.
yeah.
I'm slumming.
Let's do that. So we're going to go up, and we actually should have moved the first player token across. And then Jeremy, do you want to do? Why don't we go and do your quest?
Yeah.
So we're going to see how the quest works. So
Sure.
I'm going to move you up to Winterhold. Now, we're kind of fudging a few things this turn
Right.
just to show
We're
people.
playing fast forward. He had a
We are
horse. He found a horse in his back pocket.
Well, you do. A horse gives you an extra +1 movement.
Extra move.
Exactly.
Yeah, first gives you extra move.
Awesome. Yeah. So you arrive in Winterhold. So let's start with Jeremy. Let's start with Rahdo in Falkreath. Can't get enough of the mead there. You have to stay around.
Yep,
So
yep,
at the
yep, yep.
top right of the board, we've got the town cards. So if you just draw one of these town cards, you're going to see how these work. Yajish Gulapok, the Orcist chief.
He's looking
I'm
for
looking for
brave,
brave.
strong fighters, and his people need me. He wants me to show my strength, and I'll be rewarded. So I have to. So I guess we're gonna arm wrestle.
Yeah, basically. So you first of all you gain a component. So these cards here and in the wilderness are great ways to pick up challenges with rewards and components and personal quests. Now, the good thing is you can see what the challenge is. You're going to be rolling 3 dice, trying to get 2 circles, and if you
Hey, I
had
have
some,
heavy armor.
yeah, if you you don't have a heavy armor as a skill. If you had it as a skill.
Oh,
Oh, yes, it's not that easy. And
nope.
if you had ore, you would be able to gain a push. You would be able to get an extra dice. So you're being offered the chance to get a component now. So the good hint is, again, you can mitigate the luck by taking an ore. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll grab you an ore from over
Thank you.
here.
Very
And
thoughtful.
now you want to roll the dice. So roll the dice. You need to get 3 dice to get 2 circles.
And even though I'm wearing heavy armor, I clearly don't know how to use it, so I don't get the extra.
Not yet.
Oh,
Now, do you want to use your ore? Luckily, you got that ore. You can roll
I
another
will
die.
consume the ore. Oh, it's a very tasty rock, and that's a push for 1 now.
Yeah.
And Jeremy would like me to hit the R at least 6
yeah,
times.
hit it a couple times. About 3 times.
Okay,
Nope.
well, don't worry.
Nope.
That's not the end of it. Now, you would have gained 2 XP and 2 more
I think it's
components.
important to demonstrate to the audience this whole fail forward thing. That's all I'm about.
Yeah, for sure. Now, you missed out on the challenge, a small reward. But now what you could do is you could say, Yajish, this isn't for me. And they go back into the discard pile and they'll get shuffled back into the town events. Or you can take Yajish's story. So we're going to discard Yajish forever. They'll never be seen again in the entire 6-part campaign and claim card 22. I'm guessing you'd probably do that.
Yeah. So that is. So even though I didn't impress him with my strength, the story would still continue anyway. What I really missed out on is getting the bonus.
You just don't get the reward. So I'm just putting
Right.
this. Now you can see the first of your side quests or personal quests.
He was not impressed by my strength, but he's like, well, still, I got nothing better. So
Yes, that's right. These are red, so you know that they are a personal quest. They also have a black dot on the number. So for people with colorblind difficulties, know that these are not the important main quests. That if this fails from threat, it doesn't matter. So you can see that you need to go to Whiterun, and you've got a task, similar task to what we just did. You want 3 dice. If you had speech, you could roll a 4th. You would be trying to roll 3 circles. And if you had some septims, some money, which you've got a load of now, you would be able to roll as many extra dice as you've got septims. Okay?
So what is the thing that indicates that I'm not limited to... Oh, no, because it's saying it's a push. So in combat, I can only push twice in a combat round, but otherwise I can push as much as I've got the resource?
Yeah, when you level up to level 2 or 3, you can push a 3rd time. If
Oh,
you
I see. Gotcha.
You can
it's
push
right there on the board. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I got to go talk to a guy in a place about a thing.
That's right. As you can see, you can now absorb some more threat. So if you do more quests, if you get more distracted, you can absorb more threat. Unlike these guys who are just sticking it on the poor towns. But if you don't want to do that, you can just do more quests. You can actually have up to 2 side quests at the same time. I'll tell you what we're also going to do. Let's pretend you were successful in your challenge and you picked up some soul gems and some ore from that story. Yeah. And you're going to spend it now to enchant your gear. You're in a town, so you can visit the enchanter. All right?
Oh, right, because in addition to my core interaction, I can do merchant stuff as well, right?
You can, yeah. You can enchant and upgrade by sell your gear. For example, you could sell your battle axe
I
Um,
never want to see that axe again.
there's not much you could do. Well, actually, you can. For example, you could sell it for 2. You've got 3, 4, 5, 6 money. You'd have 8. You could buy one component for 5. Well, actually, where are you in Falkreath? In Falkreath, plant components are 4. So you could do that, but let's pretend that you've got enough for the enchantment or upgrade at the moment from that previous little quest. So if you have a look at the steel greatsword,
Yeah.
it needs either 3 soul gems or 3 ore to enchant it.
Yep.
So we're going to say that you've got 3 of each.
And no, I
You
could buy those, right? And how much would they cost?
That's right, 3. Oh, you could. So in general, every component costs 5 unless the
Oh, okay.
town's
So yeah.
more or less expensive.
So again, we're hitting the fast forward button after a few more drunken brawls, and I take out a few more cultists and make some more money. And I
That's
bought
right.
some gems. Gotcha.
Yeah. So look, if you upgraded this weapon, you can see basically the top half is enchantments, the bottom half is upgrades for weapons. So we simply put that down, and now you can see your slash badass total of 6 red damage, which is pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
If instead,
If you can roll the most basic success.
yes. Well, the good way for you to mitigate that is as soon as you level up, which will show you that in a moment,
Yeah.
you would pick the two-handed skill, and that would give you a 4th dice to roll whenever you're rolling.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Now, if you instead spent your soul gems to enchant this weapon, look,
Oh.
now you use the top half, gain 1 stamina when receiving any red damage. That would have been really useful.
Oh,
I
that's
think
sick.
that's got my name all over it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sick.
And
That
the
is the
alternative,
you're incompetent, but turn it to your advantage.
exactly. The
That's great.
alternative is you could have upgraded the armor, and
Ah,
look, that would have added another.
Oh, that's slick.
that is really
Yeah.
clever. So that's just one. That's a universal upgrade card that can be
Yes.
applied in multiple ways. That
That's
is
And
slick,
really,
dude.
really nice.
let's say you got that and you were like, I was really hoping to get an extra yellow armor. And so what you could do is pay an extra component. So for upgrades, it's ore.
Mhm.
For enchantment, it's soul gems. Look, there you go. Hey, armorer, I'm sure you've got something better for me. There you go. You you
Okay.
you pay an extra
Ah.
component, an extra card. So now you protect against 3 red and 1 yellow.
Mhm.
Okay.
Cool. And how many of these upgrade cards can be applied to a given item?
You can only have 1, as you can see, 1 upgrade and 1 enchantment. There are
I
some
see.
items that let you enchant them multiple times, for
Okay.
example. But if you've got a ring that lets you enchant it, you can get all sorts of enchantments across all your equipment there.
Oh, okay.
Okay? You can
Cool.
see
Cool.
that enchantment on the sword would increase your magicka by 1. So you'd actually level up your magicka.
Oh,
Yeah, so if you were deciding maybe I'm going to grab some spells, that could be useful. But for
And
your
maybe time for
character,
a career change.
yes, and that happened. I was playing an Altmer, a high elf with lots of magic, and I found this amazing ebony greatsword, and I just was like, okay, I'm gonna learn this now, and I learned the skill as I leveled up, and so now I had spells and swords. Okay, so we're going to show leveling up with Jeremy's character. So we're going to
okay.
leave the Nord back
Also known
drinking.
as the competent one. Yes.
Yeah.
The one who actually earns his
Yeah.
upgrades.
So, Jeremy, you arrived in the Winterhold, where the College of Winterhold is, and you've got your quest to do. Let's have a look at how the quests work. So, you've got Runaway. So you're reading your story where it says the place is empty.
Yeah. So it says the place is empty. A neighbor tells me he left in a rush a few weeks back. Inside, I realize barely had time to gather his belongings. I look around for clues. So it says open a strange chest. I have a roll of 3 plus lockpicking, which I don't have.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh, so I'm
And
going to
you
go ahead and roll for that. I need one
and
of
you
these results. I got some stuff for push. I'm
you
going to
got
roll. Here you go, sir. This is how you roll some dice, baby. Yeah,
oh,
buddy. Let's
you did
go.
it. Right. So let's turn the card over and see
On.
what the result
Oh,
is.
wait.
Okay.
All right.
This is an example of how the quest cards work. So look, you were successful. So you got 5 septims and
Oh,
2 XP.
Yeah.
Now, if you had failed, it doesn't stop you playing this quest. You just keep going. But there is a consequence. You see that symbol here?
Yeah.
This symbol for the blades. Let's have a quick look. Top left of the board, there's a deck for the blades.
Oh, I see.
The blades are really awesome characters, events, amazing benefits for you later in the game in all 6 chapters. Now, if you had failed that quest, one of them would have died, and we discard it forever. You don't know who it is,
Yeah.
and it's gone. The game is learning from your failure, and there are consequences to it. But otherwise, those cards will gradually appear through various quest results and story events through the game.
Okay.
So just have a look back at the quest card. So as you can see, failing forward means if you had failed that test, it doesn't matter. Yes, there's a consequence, but they're fun. That the world is changing. You just didn't get the money and XP. In this case, you did.
Okay.
Carry on reading the story, and then make the next choice. You can see
In a
option
hidden
1.
compartment behind the bed, I find a note signed Carillion, the hunter, addressed to any blades who found it. Someone who was on his trail and he escaped. The note also mentions Movia recent events. He points at her and her hideout in an abandoned cave.
Yeah.
I
So
think I want to
now
hire some mercenaries. I want to see mercenaries.
okay, so let's see. This basically gives you the next of your quest chain. So
Okay.
in this first chapter, you've got, I think it's 3 major quests each. I was playing with Danny ESO the other day. We played this
Yeah.
for 2.5 hours. It's supposed to be a 1-hour mission, but we just kept getting distracted by dungeons and events and fun stuff.
That's
Yeah.
Skyrim.
Yeah,
That's
that's right.
Skyrim. I
So
don't even.
you could
What's
totally
a main mission? But what's a main quest like?
yeah, this is the
No
main
time
quest.
for life goals.
So but all of
Yeah.
you are following the same story. I kind of describe it as going up a different side of a pyramid. You've got different ways to climb your side of the pyramid. You're all
Right.
climbing towards the same focal end of the plot at the top, but you've all got your own choices to make. So when you come and play this again, you can have different starting card, make different choices. You're going to see a whole different story structure based on the choices you make with each card. So this card now says you need to go to a cave in Haffinger. You want to be level 1, and look, you chose the objective to hire mercenaries. You won some money with that last successful quest, and that means, as you can see, there's a clue there because you're going to be able to push with money. All right.
All right.
So let's winding forward very quickly again. Let's pretend you've actually got 6 XP. You picked up some XP from that last quest. Let's pretend you've got 7 and enough to level up. Okay. So Jeremy, what do you fancy as a skill? You can get, for example, one-handed that would give you a bonus, an extra dice when rolling your attacks. You
I
could
want to
gain,
make sure my two-handed is straight so I can use my bow.
so you could get archery.
Yeah.
You could get the archery skill. If you have a look at the top of the board where all the tokens are, you've got the path of might, shadow, and sorcery skills. You've got illusion, conjuration can summon monsters to help you. Heavy armor, we were talking about that, Rahdo, would give you an extra red armor and a dice and skill test.
Mm.
There's your archery skill. So the other interesting thing about skills is you can see your next skill, your next level up would be 8 XP. And then you're going to, you can learn another skill at 9, 10, 11, 12. You
So,
get to 13.
so what does that mean? The plus.
So that means if you were using your bow, yeah, instead of the daggers, you now roll 4 dice. So
Oh,
Right.
here, if you have the archery skill, you get a bonus dice.
you add
And
to it. Okay.
if you get all 8 skills, you can then become legendary status. So that means the next one would cost 15, and you can start turning them over to legendary. So then now you're rolling 2 dice.
Okay.
But as you can imagine, the bows are going to get tougher, much better damage, and harder rolls to get. So you do want those extra dice.
Okay.
The other thing when you level up is you get to bump up one of your stats. So you could decide, hey, I need a bit more health. Do you want more stamina because you're using it a lot, like some of the Nords we know? He could probably do with a
Okay.
bit.
Oh, okay. I see right here.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. So now you get, and as soon remember, once you level up, you're now level 1, and you're discarding all those level 0
Right.
creatures,
Right.
dungeons. I'm going to give you. Let's have a sneak peek at the dwarves and the Daedra. I'm just going to lay out a few cards here so you can see is in store for you. And these are only the level 1 and 0, 1, and 2 enemies. You can see the Dwarven Ballistic Trap does 5 yellow damage. The Dwarven Spiderweb does 3 magical damage and drains 1 magicka from you. And
What does yellow represent thematically?
yellow is light damage.
Okay.
So, yeah. So because we have light armor, which is yellow armor,
Right.
it's representative, I guess, of it's often bow damage or lighter weapons, whereas your big axes, your big swords are doing heavy red damage.
Yeah. It's
But
kind of like a dexterity sort of thing,
yeah,
as
yeah,
opposed to a strengthy sort of thing.
yeah.
Okay.
So and you can see, look, the Remora kind of Knival here has a sneak of 5. So Jeremy, you're going to really want to pump up your sneak skills
Right.
to be able to sneak on that.
But
And if you
that's what would happen if we fought this guy right here?
no, he's actually got a special number
Oh,
in the event in the number deck. So he's
okay.
probably even tougher.
Okay. Whoa, Lord. Let's see him.
Actually, I think our helper is bringing over. Look, here we go.
Very thoughtful.
Sneak 4, chain lightning. If he gets chain lightning with either the
Ooh.
light skull, everyone in the room takes
Uh,
5 magic damage and 2 drains 2 magicka.
oh.
That's a
Now,
good thing you
when it has
know
those multiple when it has multiple icons, that means he has 4 damage in that, 1 yellow damage, and then what's this one right here? What
3 magic armor. So what that
oh,
means is you're going to
wow.
have to use your strategy to take out his various armor. So like Jeremy, with your if you were using your daggers, you can only do yellow damage.
Right.
So but that's good because you could basically do 1 attack, get rid of his yellow, and then any yellow damage you do, it's going to go straight through his armor. Whereas the Nord is going to have a tough time because he can his main attack is 4 red. So that that Daedra is going to absorb all that damage. If you did 4 red against
Yeah.
5,
Yeah.
in theory it's nothing, but you always do 1 point of damage. You always do something. So you've got to strategize between you and go, wait a minute, I can let me knock out his yellow
Yeah.
armor, then
So
your
that
damage is going to go straight through.
right. So now
Or,
I understand now. So you
yeah.
really gotta pay attention to the type of weapons you come in with. So I would have, let's say, like, let's see, my claws are what? The claws are red, so that would be tougher. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
would wanna use my daggers.
You would, yeah. But even
Yeah.
so, whatever damage you did with your dagger, you can only because he's got 1 yellow. If you did 2 yellow, you knock it out. But
Right.
you go in there and sneak with your dagger because you can only ever do 1 point of damage in yellow. It doesn't overflow. If you did 5 yellow,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I
it
mean,
doesn't.
after that. So I would
Yeah, yeah.
push the yellow attacks pretty hard.
And he's ambushing you all, so he's immediately going to do an ambush attack for anyone.
Wow.
So with these wandering monsters, you've really got to prepare and build up and get some extra gear. We can show you. Let me show you some of the cool A treasures at the top of the
So
board.
wait. If I roll now, you said I don't get the dice for both of these. I only get the dice for 'cause, let's say I was doing sneak, I would
Yeah,
have my 3 dice plus 1 more for this,
that's correct. So you get 3 plus the basic 3 dice. So you would be rolling 6 dice.
6 dice, right.
Yeah, but you need his difficulty is 4
Oh,
circles.
well, hold on, let me show you how you do it though, Chris. Let me show you how you do it. Let me show you how you do it right here. One
Go.
shot, baby. One shot. I'm a sneaky fellow. Oh, Jesus.
Whoa.
All
I think I'm a bad influence on you. I'm
Insta
rubbing
fail.
off.
You guys
I just
can
did
get
a Rahdo.
Yep. Yeah, there you go. That's the term.
Insta fail.
it. So yeah, that would have been a tough fight. So then he would have attacked you immediately with the chain
Yeah,
lightning.
immediately.
Yeah, but there's some good rewards. Look, you're going to get 3 XP, 5 gold, 3
Wow.
components. So nice stuff. That I mean, I think really I've shown you. There's lots of cool treasure up here if you want to have a look in the A deck. There's also a dragon treasure deck. That is even better stuff. So you can see some of the gear. Look, you've got an ebony bow that does 5 red at the start, and
Ooh.
great sword that does 5 red as a main slash. Look at this
Make another
blizzard,
force damage. Oh, wow, that's nice.
6 magicka, and it can do either 6 yellow or 6 purple damage. So, and imagine then you can also you can't upgrade the blizzard spells, but you can upgrade the ebony sword. You can
So
see it.
so in this case with these things, are you spending that?
That's
So,
right.
like, I would take this and I would spend it? Like, I would spend my magicka to do
Yeah,
that
you
spell?
yeah, so that's pretty tough, right?
Yeah,
But so you really want to be a lot higher level with
right,
more magicka
right.
to use this, and maybe there's other items that might help you with costs. Plus, if you get the destruction skill, you're going to be rolling an extra dice. So if you really want to do that drown attack, or the shatter, if you want to do the drown attack, 5 magicka, you need to be rolling that diamond. But if you get the destruction skill, then you're rolling 4 dice, so you've got a much better chance than some of
Oh, okay. Okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, lots of great treasure. There's the dragon deck, dragon treasure deck, which is very high level treasure. But you can go and upgrade this gear, adding extra damage. So you're going to be bumping it up. And this is only the kind of basic stuff. There's lots of named gear in the numbered deck that's going to
Right.
gradually get filtered in. You might get a really cool weapon as a reward for a quest. And so you're going to see all kinds of stuff filtering in. We've also got part of the game fan is we've done these game fan exclusive cards, which are legendary creatures. So the first time one of you levels up to legendary skill, you're going to take one of these terrifyingly bad enemies, which we're about to talk about on our chat. Really bad enemies, and they go in. They're like a boss monster. They go into one of the decks, and if you defeat them, there's some really amazing legendary sort of famous artifacts that you can recover from them, which are super powerful.
Okay.
So some great fun there. And then the other thing is when you complete the first 3 chapters, as I said, the clocks wind forward and you start again 25 years later, but you're a bit older, you're out of training, not as fit as you used to be when you were a young adventurer. And so your character could reset. You've probably sold some of your gear to
Right.
mend the hole in the roof and buy a new horse for the farm. And so you kind of start again scaling up, but there's a whole new storyline set during the time of the Dragonborn. And then and you can then take sides with the Imperials, Stormcloaks. So whilst you're all working towards the same goal, there's a whole quest structure coming out of the decks that is all about the Stormcloak Rebellion as well as this big plot. And so by each of you could both join the Stormcloaks or both join the Imperials or one of each. And that will affect the end of the story. And the same thing
Huh.
in the Dawn Guard expansion. As you can imagine, we've added Castle Volkihar and Fort
Yep.
Dawn Guard. You can start joining, and some of your choices might lead you to getting vampire, and you get all these cool vampire powers.
Oh, dude.
Now you're trying to work to defeat Fort Dawn Guard, or you're trying to work to defeat the vampires. But you're still trying to work together to defeat the real.
Right.
So you're affecting the politics and the kind of battles going on across Skyrim. So there's a bit of competitive nature to that. And in our chat that's coming up next, we've got some really cool big announcements that we're making.
Oh.
So this is so big, and particularly if you don't follow your life goals, can take so long. Is there some kind of Seventh Continent-esque save system?
Yeah, there is. Yeah. So we have some little chapter save boxes. So at any time,
Okay.
like we could, like we could just be like, look, guys, we've got to go, we've got dinner.
It's
Um,
3 in the morning. Come on.
let's just save this point. You can save at the end of a chapter or mid chapter, and all you do,
Okay.
you've got a little box, one for the board that you put any quests in. The event deck. The event deck will reset when you start again. If there's as you've got some threat on the towns, you put the threat in the box and any wandering monsters. And then for your own character cards, you've got all your enchantments and gear, any money and components and XP, and all your quests. And then when you reset, you've got two choices. You can either say, "Well, I know I was in Falkreath. I'm going to start again from there," but we allow you to start from any town on the board. And for
Okay.
example, the threat that you put on Riften, you can put on any. You can spread around. Well, actually, the threat has to go anywhere. So if you had some threat on your quests, some threat on the towns, so you can move it around. As long as you spend the threat when you start the mission.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah. You kept track of how much you have, but you can mix things up.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In theory,
And
Riften took care of itself, but in the meantime, some problem showed up someplace else.
exactly, yes. So,
Gotcha.
so it's a really simple way to just save the state of your game and carry on. And really, as you can see, it's like an open world game. You've got plenty
Mhm.
of opportunity to go off and get distracted, and occasionally pick up on main quests if you really want to. They
Right.
tend to have bigger rewards, but all the small personal quests have multi-stage quests that can lead to all sorts of different fun storylines. Plus, you get the big global quests coming out that also unlock new stories, and the wandering monsters, and of course the dungeons are gradually evolving, and some really interesting characters to face as well. We've also
This
got
does
right.
this does feel like the game. There's a lot to it,
Oh,
and
yeah.
there's a lot that opens up. And
Yeah,
that right there is that's attractive to me. The way it's opening up, because you're explaining a
yeah.
lot, and I'm just like, it feels like the game. Like, I was worried about it being too mechanical, but like, this stuff is not that hard to pick up, which is great.
Yeah, I think it's.
Uh,
I mean, it obviously helps if someone's showing you, but we have a great tutorial for one player to just take you through, which is in this mod. I think what we've tried to do, we've tried to put the complexity into the depth of story and
yes.
narrative. And I mean, hopefully, as you might see, that the mechanics are pretty straightforward. You're moving around, you do skill tests, you do fights, threat comes into the game, you can spend components to upgrade, and that's
Yep.
pretty much it. It's pretty much it. And the storyline is, what we don't have is 3 paragraphs of text. We looked at doing a book. A lot of the big narrative games now are doing books of storyline. But what you can't do with that is have this evolving story structure where you go, well, it's like a kind of resettable legacy game, isn't it? You can't go, this card's gone, this card's gone. You can't have that card anymore. It's gone into the box. And then when you get to the end of the six chapters, you can shuffle everything back in, put the numbered cards back in order, go, you know what, I want to start with the ultimate time, and I'm going to do a different
Yep.
story, and you're going to see a whole different story unfold
Well,
as
it's, yeah,
well.
because stories are reflective of you and your choices rather than something that the developers have said, "Oh, nope, here's our story," which
Yes.
again is true to the video game.
Yeah, that's right. We've got some really exciting announcements that we're about to make with the team as well, and some of it includes a new mode to play this, which is really exciting. I mean, pretty much this is an open roaming game that has a gentle push to go and do your story, because you want to see what happens. Who is this Moiva? What is she doing? Why are the blades being hunted? There's obviously there's a certain amount of drive to see that, but nothing stops you spending. You could spend hours in this first mission, just gradually leveling up and seeing what happens.
My last question. This
Yeah.
is a two-player. How do you scale it for player count?
So it goes up to 4 players.
And
Now,
down to one, I assume, solo.
yes, that's right. With one player, you don't draw event cards every other turn. So
Okay.
really helps
Yes.
you. That gives you
Okay.
a bit of breathing space. Now, with 4 players, you are obviously going into the dungeons quicker. You're using up. You might be doing dungeons together, but of course, everyone in the room has to take a turn with the creature. It always gets to attack first with whoever's attacking it. So the dungeons kind of kind of are. It doesn't matter whether you're up against, 2, 3, 4 characters. Now, of course, there's more characters to absorb wounds, but that's why you have a lot of the traps will do damage to multiple characters. And what you'll find is that you might do 2 of you together in one place, 2 you're off doing quests, and as a result, you're going to start delving into caves and mines a lot quicker with more of you. So it's and it's of course it's great fun with 4 players as well as you're running around and kind of deciding how you're going to cope, because then you've got the chance to look. I'll go down and deal with that world quest in Falkreath. Okay, well look, we'll both do this dungeon, and then I'm going to go and sell some gear and level up. So it's a lot of interesting choices. But as you can see, it's no choice is wrong because it leads to more interesting choices, and no failure in this game says that's it, you suck, go, put everything back in the box, come back next week when you feel better. you feel better with the dice, you just keep going. The world changes.
Yeah, this is pretty slick, man. I honestly I didn't know what to expect. This is really slick, and it feels. I mean, this is the key for me. As someone who's played Skyrim and hasn't played it in years, like this warms up my interest. But I really like to look at games from the perspective of someone who doesn't even know what the Skyrim lore, like anything Elder Scrolls related. Could they have fun playing this game? And I feel safe recommending it, which is important. Like that's the key. Is usually these IP games. It's like, well, do I have to know how to play the video game in order to play this and have fun? Like, and that the answer is no. You can enjoy this. You don't have to know all the lore, which is great.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I hoped that we'd created something that, when you feel like you just want that kind of leveling up, questing, adventuring game, that this is just a great game. And if it happens to be Skyrim as well, which is a double bonus, but that it's got all those, that it ticks all those boxes for people.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys. It's been great sharing
Thank you
this.
for having me.
Your skills come to the fore in this game of Skyrim.
Well, some skills more so than others.
Yeah, well, yeah, probably mead quaffing skills, I suspect.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you definitely
Again,
killed him in
I
the
was
end. So
just demonstrating the failing forward.
absolutely, it's all.
The failing forward is strong with you.
And then, for those wondering, we've also got Dunmer and Orsimer characters. We could have picked an Ultima and an Imperial. The Dawnguard expansion has Argonians, Red Guard. My brain's failing me. A couple more as well. There's like all sorts of character choices. Bretons and Bosmer. There we go. So we've got a lot of choice of characters, all sorts of play styles that support you, and then I mean I won't go into it, but have a look at the crowdfunding, because there's all sorts of extra kind of campaigns and mini campaigns that support the gameplay. All right, guys, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate you spending time with this, and I hopefully we'll get you a real copy of the game, because obviously it's up to you to have a look and see if it lives up to the dream.
This has got to be one of the most impressive TTS mods I've seen.
The guys, the designers also built the mod, and that's
wow.
Javier and Stefano.
That's why.
They put a lot of effort into making this look beautiful. And also, these aren't the sort of final card designs. We're using in-game imagery, and we've been able to pull out a lot higher resolution imagery, which is going to improve. And we also did some colorblind friendly tweaks, and also some of the colors, like the yellow damage icons and armor icons, are popping a lot more. So there's a lot more readability stuff we've been doing in the background. But yeah, the guys, got a shout out to them, did an amazing job. Because it's just really enjoyable, and they're we're actually we've unlocked all 3 first chapters for free for Tabletop Simulator, so people are going to be able to play this free online.
Damn, this is awesome, dude. Like like that's another thing. You're not hiding it. People get a chance to play it, so they can decide for themselves if it's it's gonna.
Oh yeah.
Fire it
That's
up.
freaking cool, right there,
Don't
man.
take Chris's word for it. Try it yourself.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's the thing. We didn't want to be like, yeah, there's this great game, and maybe it's going to calm next year and you might like it. It's like, well, look, just go and try it, and you'll find out for yourself.
Yep, you got nothing to hide.
For sure. All right then. Well, look, thanks so much for your time, and appreciate you taking time out from your days to spend some time with us.
Oh, thanks for the tour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, my pleasure. And
Did I do
hopefully,
the worst rolling of anybody you've played this with?
yeah, I think so far. So, but it's like, it's good to show how that mechanics work. You still managed to do it at the end of the day.
Yep,
So
yep, yep, yep.
there's all sorts of
By hook or by
tactics.
crook.
I hope I'm going to see you guys out at Gen Con next year, because we'll be back out there next year.
See you, buddy.
All right. Okay. Thanks, guys. We had a long game, didn't we? I keep
did have a
thinking
long
it's going to
game.
be an hour, and it just goes. I mean, to be fair, we had Rahdo's crazy long dice rolling, but and it just shows that it's very easy to get distracted and run around. But hopefully that gave everyone enough of an insight into the game. There's loads of videos on the Game Fan page. If you really want to see a full game played out, there's 3 or 4 big playthroughs there. There's one full playthrough with 3 of us on the team, which I think is about a couple of hours. There's a playthrough with myself and Danny, ESO, which is kind of edited to show the best bits, and there's a couple of others as well. There's a couple of solo playthroughs. So, hi, April.
Hello.
So I've talked enough now. I've been talking for about 2 hours, so you guys have to try and take over and give my voice a rest. So have you been watching anything of the 10th anniversary celebrations? Because they just had the orchestra performance of the soundtrack, didn't they?
Yeah, it's just started, I think. 7 o'clock, something like that.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
So that looked good. Interesting to see all the Creation Club content that's going into it.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the Dwemer horse.
I'm quite taken with the Dwemer horse as well. That looks good.
I know, yeah. And the Daedric horse looks like it's going to be a challenge as well. But are you going to try the survival mode?
Well, it's interesting because my last playthrough of Skyrim that I started, which is like playthrough number, I don't know, 6 or 5 or something like that, I decided that I was not going to be a little pack rat and carry every single pot, pan, spoon, and grilled leek that I found. And actually, I was going to limit myself to a melee weapon, a bow, armor. I think I said I could carry 12 potions and no more than that. So I kind of set myself these limits.
Very good.
So I'd be really interested to see what the survival mode brings to it as well, because I think it'd fit quite nicely into that quite restrictive build I've set up for myself there.
Yeah, and because you're going to have to be eating and drinking to keep going, aren't you? So definitely adds a layer of difficulty, real challenge.
Yeah, and fishing as well. Can spend some time. I remember one of the first time I sort of loaded up Skyrim and was wandering around. I remember one of the oh wow moments was when I was walking past one of the rivers and there was a little sort of rapidsy bit, and you saw the salmon jumping up the rapids.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. That's very, very cool. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to that.
Great bits. I think it's the soundtrack also really makes it. It makes just wandering along, and you're hearing that beautiful music playing out, and you can just wander around for ages and ages. And I think that's one of the reasons I keep coming back to it. And I love just playing the soundtrack in the background as I'm writing.
Yeah.
And it's just such an easy. It's just easy to hang out in Skyrim doing it.
Yeah, and the soundtrack is really good because the pieces of music are also very fitting for, when that first combat music comes up, it immediately puts me in the right frame of mind. I know that something is going to get thumped. Hopefully not me.
Oh, yeah. April, tell us, have you played much Skyrim? You don't have to say yes. Okay.
I played it through probably 3 times to completion.
Wow.
Like DLC that was out at the time and everything. I love that game. it's definitely one of my top 3. So
any kind of like special memories?
yeah, I get emotional every time I hear the soundtrack because I'm like, oh, it just brings back these memories. I was a band geek growing up, and so yeah, I'm very in tune with soundtracks and music with games and movies and whatnot. So every time I hear it, just like floods back memories. I love music.
Oh gosh, yeah, I know. I mean, the thing is, I've spent hundreds of hours in it as well, and I think I'm on my 3rd playthrough too. I'm kind of midway through and got distracted by life and work. I need to get back to it. But endless. There's so many quests and storylines. I mean, the one I really enjoyed is, I think it's Katria, the ghost.
Yeah.
Who you meet her in one of the caverns, and you find her bow, and then you get her bow, and then she's kind of meeting you in different Dwemer cities, and you're kind of following this storyline through to the big forge, and that was really fun because I would go off and do more missions, and I'd come back, and there she would be again, and then be like, oh yeah, hello, and your story carries on. So
I also like that, even though I've played through it however many times I've played through it, even now when I go back to it, I can go to areas and there will be quests or caves or ruins or something that I haven't explored yet, because the world is so expansive. And the idea of the Creation Club stuff with the 10th anniversary, just adding more to that. Looking at the stuff where they've got the the Ghost of the Tribunal that obviously extends the story from Morrowind into it as well, is really something I'm really, really looking forward to seeing. That it's very cool. Morrowind and Oblivion themed armor, like the Knights of the Nine set as well. Looking forward to getting that, because that was a really good.
That looks like some really interesting new gear in it, and there is more quests, isn't there? So there's quite a lot of new stuff. So maybe what we should move on to is briefly chat about some of the stuff we're unveiling tonight.
Yeah.
So this is going to be in an update that goes out, and we're about to update all the graphics. So as most of you know, we've been unlocking these legendary encounters. So what are the legendary encounters? So they, as I mentioned in the stream, the first time you level up one of your skills to legendary status, you're going to draw on one of these legendary encounters, and they're going to get added to a dungeon deck. And I'm going to give you some ideas of who these are going to be. So they're all going to be added to the stretch goals. So you'll get a sense of what you're going to be facing, and the terrifying stuff. So the types of encounters you're going to be up at, and these are really, really hard encounters, more like boss level stuff. You're really going to have to level up and prepare to fight against them. So we're talking about things like the Spriggan Earth Mother, a Chaurus Hunter, a Frozen Falmer Shaman, and a Falmer Shadowmaster. We're looking at things like Ancient Frost Atronax, or a Ancient Flame Atronax, a Dwarven Centurion army, and the Storm Dwarven Centurion. Now, to offset that, every legendary enemy is going to come with a really great artifact from the game. So let's have a look at some of the artifacts you might be able to recover. Maroon's Razor, which is very lethal in combat. I'm not going to go into the actual rules yet. We're going to talk about that in a later update, which I'm going to let the designers do a bit of writing about why they pick these items and what they do. You've got the Mace of Molagbal, Sun's Battle Axe, and a Drain Spell Bow, and Spellbreaker. So I'm sure there'll be pictures of these in the update of the items. And of course, you can go off and look up, do your research on these. We've got armor and trinkets like the gloves of the pugilist and the Forge Master's fingers. You've got Sun's armor, Predator's grace, and mythic dawn robes. So that's a bit of an insight into, these are those Game Found exclusive legendary cards that are coming to you as part of the project. They're only in the base game in Game Found. They're not going to be in the retail edition. I know there's a lot of you out there waiting on news of language editions. We've got about 12 different languages we're in negotiation with at the moment. It's quite an insane amount of work. And we are trying to set up a partnership with all these companies so they'll do their own pre-orders and they will have access to everything in Game Found, including these exclusive legendary encounters. And they'll have access to all the other content that's in the game. But those legendary encounter cards will not go to retail. So we've also got some other big news, unless any of you guys want to say something first. I don't know if we've got any questions in chat coming through.
Yeah, there's a couple of questions in chat. One of the questions is, how does the Dragon Mini compare scale-wise to the Call to Arms Dragon? Well, of course, the Dragon Minis we've got in at the moment are the roaming dragons, and they're quite a bit smaller than our Mjolnir miniature because they're on 30mm bases. But the sharp-eyed amongst you might have noticed that that's not the only dragon we've been showing off. There are some images of a bit of a bigger dragon in there as well.
Yeah, there's something coming, I'm sure. But the small dragons really are, I mean, they're representative of roaming dragons in that area. But Gavin, if you're a Call to Arms player, they're going to have double use, aren't they?
Yeah, they absolutely are. So even on those small bases, we found a use for them if you're a Call to Arms player, and they're actually harkening back to one of the earlier games in the series, and they're going to be dragonlings, little ickle dragonlings that you're going to be able to fight.
Awesome. Have we got any other questions that we want to cover before we move on?
There's a gameplay question, which is, can you upgrade the same skill more than once? Like after the first 7 XP upgrade, sneak, then after 8 XP, another sneak skill upgrade. I believe that's legendary skills, isn't it?
Yeah.
Chris?
So yeah, you can level up each skill again, well, from its normal side to its legendary side, but you have to have all 8 skills filled in before you can do legendary upgrades. So and of course that's when it starts triggering. If you've got these extra cards, that's when it triggers this extra level of difficulty.
Yeah.
And access to all that cool gear. So
somebody in the comments was saying earlier on, hoping that there was a Gloves of the Pugilist. So your wish has been granted there. We've got the Gloves of the Pugilist. So that's going to help you for those unarmed builds if you want them. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's move on to the next big story. I think we've all been getting a bit excited about this. Apart from, I mean, some of the other stuff we've been unlocking, there's lots of community resources like encounter card templates and other templates. So you're all going to be able to create your own cards. If you've got ideas for creatures and gear that we haven't made, you're going to be able to make it yourself and add to the game, even add to the tabletop simulator. Now, what else is coming? There's something really fun that we're about to update the stretch goal graphics all the way through to the 800,000 mark. Now, this is something that everyone's going to get. This is a celebration because we kind of technically will have passed the $1 million mark, even though the crowdfunding is in pounds. So we are unlocking free roam modes. So let me tell you what that's going to be. Free roam mode is something that moves beyond the story of the Blades. Obviously, the Blades story is a stuff of legend. But this new mode is where you can create your own unique stories and enjoy the beauty and perils of the home of the Dwarves. This doesn't take place in a specific timeline, unlike our scripted, the narrative adventures through all the 6 chapters. So this will let us have references to the Great War and dragon encounters to happen during any of your stories. You'll be able to add any of the mini campaigns you want, which are the mini campaigns in From the Ashes, the Dragon campaign, the Ghosts of the Blades, etc. The more mini campaigns you add, the more difficult free roam mode is going to be, and the more rewarding the game will become. So in this mode, you basically won't be using the main quest, which are very timeline linked, but but you'll be using all the what we call the personal quests or side quests. You'll be going dungeon delving, you'll be leveling up, fighting monsters. Wandering monsters are going to be spreading across the board. You're going to have a real challenge trying to hold them back. The holds are going to be falling, the strongholds are going to be rioting, and you're going to have all these big enemies to fight. So this is a kind of game mode that you can just keep playing and playing and playing. And we're going to unlock that and the extra components, which is not a lot, but the extra components that we need at 800,000 for all base games. That's the retail edition and the backers edition. Now, the other thing we're doing at that point is also unlocking free roam competitive mode. And I know a bunch of you have been asking about, can we play competitive? And now there are a kind of certain competitive elements to the game already. In the second campaign, if you were listening to the stream, during the 4th era, when the Dragonborn's around, you actually can take sides with the Stormcloaks or the Imperials in one of the chapters. And that starts to affect the world around you. Maybe you all join the Imperials, maybe some of you join the Imperials and Stormcloaks, and that does really start to create this change in the landscape and storyline. But how do you actually really start doing more competition? So this mode, free roam competitive mode, turns free roam into a competitive score focused game where there can only be one champion. This gets really interesting when you incorporate the factions from Dawnguard into the mix, as you can have vampires and the hunters going toe-to-toe in the struggle for domination. And we're going to be talking a lot more about this over the next kind of week or two. So we're also, there's more, we're going to be unlocking free roam hard mode. This is for people who've gone through the campaigns multiple times and they want a much harder challenge with their friends. This is a condensed set of rules which gives some guidance for making things like the threat and the sneak rules much more difficult. I'm reading something that the designers wrote. Prepare for a thoroughly miserable experience where the world burns around you. So if you've been leveling up and getting all that cool gear, you're going to need it. So this is for when you think you've got it sorted, and this game is going to bite back hard. Now, I'm just going to pause there because we've got some more news, which is even more, well, I think as exciting, but just want to see if there's any questions in chat before we move on.
Will we continue to support this game even after the crowdfunding, maybe with PDF campaigns?
Well, there's going to be a lot in this campaign. We're being careful not to unlock anything that would potentially really delay production. Well, really any delay to the production. It's all stuff that we know we can fit into the current schedule of work, the capacity that we've got. So we're not going to be suddenly unlocking 27 giant plastic monsters for the game, because we want to come back to this game. We're already working with major distributors to get English editions of this into retailers after this ships to backers later next year. As I said, we've got about 12 language editions we're working with, and we want to get those out into retail. So this bigger project, yes, absolutely, yes, we're going to be supporting this ongoing. What that means now, we think after this project, you're going to have months and months and months of gameplay, and we'll be spending the next few weeks maybe sleeping, maybe not up so many late nights, but we'll be working on ideas for what we would do next. And of course, Skyrim is full of ideas. There's so much content that we can do. So let's talk about what else is coming. Now, free roam mode unlocks lots of ideas, because you can sit with 1 to 4 players and go on all kinds of adventures across the Skyrim board. And this really then becomes that classic adventuring game where you're leveling up, finding cool stuff, great treasures and loot, fighting monsters, dealing with the threats across the board, following all kinds of chains of side quests. But what if you could bring more friends to the table? What if you could have 5 to 8 players? Now, this was actually inspired by one of the backers who said, what would happen if I had another box of this game? Could I play with more players? And when the guys worked on the free roam mode, we realised this would actually be a relatively easy. I say that relatively. Gavin's been working very hard to put together what we actually need in that box. So this is going to be an add-on that will become available also when we reach 800,000. And this is, roughly speaking, it's going to be all the components you need to add 5 to 8 players to that free roam mode, so you can all be running around the world. And I have a feeling you're going to need the help, because if you start going to hard mode and adding in any of the other, like the Major Dragon expansion from the Ashes and the other kind of mini campaigns, it's going to get tough. So this is obviously going to be things like 4 more player boards, the cubes that you need, extra component tokens, extra septims, extra skill tokens. Well, there might be another set of dice in there. I'm not going to promise anything, because Gavin's probably looking at his spreadsheet going, "Don't say that."
Yeah.
But we'll be making sure this is a great little app that gives you everything you need to build an entire company with for your adventures in Skyrim. And it's and I'm really pleased with this, because personally, my gaming group is often 6, 7, 8 people, and it gets really hard. What are we going to play? Because there's not that many games let you have more players, and this is just going to be so much fun for the big groups out there who now can join in with this game as well. So I think after all that's about everything we've got for tonight, which is all the news. So I don't know. Let's see if there's any comments, and we're going to be sending this all out on the update and updating the graphics on the page tonight. But yeah, I think it's really exciting, especially with the 10th anniversary announcing that the survival mode, and I feel like we're kind of doing the same thing. We're bringing in that survival challenge. How long can you keep going with the threat that we're introducing to the game?
Yeah, I think so. And what we've been looking at with the 5 to 8 player expansion is making sure the quality of life improvements are there for those extra players as well. So you'll get additional save boxes, for instance. We're also looking at, as Chris says, another set of dice, so you don't have to keep passing the same set of dice around the table. Making sure we've got enough skill tokens for everybody in the little cubes and so on and so forth. So yeah, hopefully it's gonna be useful for everybody.
And yeah, I mean, we'll talk more about what's actually in that add-on before.
Have you talked about what the legendary cards are going to look like, Chris?
No. Do you want to talk about that, Gavin?
Yeah, so we're looking at they're legendary cards, right? So we want them to be a bit special. So we're looking for these GameFound exclusives to have some kind of special treatment on them. And that might be foiling, it might be hologram, it might be foiling and hologram. Who knows? But these are, when you pick one of these cards, when you get one of these cards, you're going to know that it's a special legendary card, because it's going to look really, really nice with the effect on it as well.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't think we've got any other particular news for tonight. So obviously stay tuned for the update. Any other memories? Maybe we should leave everyone with one final memory of Skyrim.
Well, I think that first fight with Murmelnir near the Western Watchtower, the first time you see, a dragon up close, because you've seen Alduin when he destroys Helgen. But then you go and see the languid Jarl Balgruuf slouching on his throne. And, you then get the messenger run in that tells you there's been a dragon sighted nearby, and you and Irileth and the little band of the Jarl's men go running off. And then all of a sudden this giant Murmelnir, our dragon that we've made, comes swooping down out of the sky. That's a pretty. Every time I do a playthrough, that first fight with the dragon is quite a special moment, I think.
I glitched out the first time ever I played with that. I don't know how I did it, but I was able to fall through the whole map.
Oh no.
What did I do? Like that's one of my fondest memories. I'm like, what? I was so excited to play, and then all of a sudden, no. But of course, like then I started to back up, and everything was fine. But yeah, I was so excited, and then what happened? So,
I remember this is just a funny moment. I was in Whiterun, and I was about to do, I think it's the is it the Companions quest, and Mjol was my follower, and I was like, okay, I gave her all this cool stuff. I'm like, okay, like, can you hold all this stuff, and then you go to take the quest, and they're like, oh, you can't have a follower, and Mjol was immediately going, okay, well, I'll see you in Rift, and I'm like, no, wait, don't.
give
And
me
then
my stuff back
luckily,
first.
I know, and she, I'm like, wait a minute, you've got all my stuff. And luckily, she, when you go back to Riften, she's still carrying it for some reason. I would, if I was her, I probably would have sold it by then. But that was quite a funny moment. That I was like, oh God, I've just lost it all.
I was always because of that. I was always very nervous to give any of my followers anything because I was like, what happened? What that's gonna disappear. I was always very nervous. So
Yeah,
I was very
they equip
yeah.
themselves with whatever's the best stuff you've given them, don't
Yeah.
they? I think and it's.
The other thing that I remember as well is climbing up the mountain to the throat of the world to High Hrothgar, coming around the corner and seeing that ice troll drop down in front of you. When I was like level 1 and I had my little, my little flame spell and my iron dagger, and I'm being charged by this frost troll.
Yes.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I love that we'll be able to have that on the board game too.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
Yeah,
really, really cool.
we've got frost trolls as wandering monsters. So yeah, early on you could meet them. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Well, look, I think we should call it a night there. We're going to be doing more streams soon. We're doing a stream. I think it's either Sunday or Monday. We just got to fix the time when we're going to be actually showing off some of the mechanics for Dawnguard with the design team, and showing you how vampirism works, how how the kind of combat or this sort of challenge between Castle Volkihar and Fort Dawnguard plays out, and what you can expect in the Dawnguard mechanics, which adds all sorts of new fun stuff. Personally, I really like the vampire mechanics. Fun. You get way more powerful the more hungry you get. So, but there's a cost. So come and join us for that. It's going to be good fun. And thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks everyone for watching the game and sticking with us. And hope you enjoyed the news. And go and share it with friends, because we want everyone to know all the fun stuff that we're bringing to the game.
Absolutely.
Okay. Bye everyone.